Hey, it's Sammy and Natalie here, and welcome to the Anxiety Compass, where anxiety isn't the enemy, it's our tour guide. We'll swap stories, share tools, and have a laugh while we find our way back to true north. Come along. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. Hey, Nat.
Yay!
I can see your big smiley face on the screen. How are you?
I can see, I'm good, Miss Sammy.
Me
I can see
too.
your lovely smiley face too.
Well, you nearly put me to sleep in our last podcast recording, not because you're boring, but because of your calming
Ah.
voice. So today we are going to be talking about the Great Unwiring. I actually did a section, if you've read my book, about neuroplasticity and just rewiring our system. So we mentioned on the compass that there's a section where it's the nervous system, where our nervous system's wired in a certain way that everything's setting us off. Like even someone touching you on the shoulder can jolt your whole system. Do you ever find that, Nat? Like it's like no matter what you do, your whole body's just in
Yes,
flight and fight.
that
And
hyper-vigilant
and
situation.
it's,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, we need to retrain our nervous system that's been stuck in this survival mode. And I find there's so many people
Mm.
like that now. Like we were talking in the previous episode about co-regulation, and it's really hard to avoid so many people that are just constantly chaotic and living this stuck mode, which you don't want to avoid them, but you don't want them to drain your battery at the same time. So
No.
um, it's like a nervous system software update. I like to think with
Mm.
rewiring yourself, if you want
Yeah.
to use a good metaphor, get uploading the software.
Yes.
Anxiety is a teacher, but I did mention many, many times in my book that it's also outdated software that it's using,
Yeah.
outdated books, and sometimes it can lead us into more panic. In the world that we've created, it's teaching us old lessons and it's keeping us really anxious about
Yeah.
everything. Do you want to sort of mention a place in your life where you were stuck in this setting? Yeah.
Yes. Well, I lived in constant fight or flight, that hyper-vigilant state for well over a decade. It got to the point where if anyone even just approached me from behind, they didn't have to touch me, but if they approached me, I would literally scream and burst into tears. So I would turn around and say, please don't ever approach me from behind. Please come.
Yeah.
I was like a startled little,
Little
bird sort
stuff.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I find for me and I know a lot of people, like it's not always just being startled and whenever someone comes near you. It can also mean that you've created a little bubble of safety because this is all your nervous system can handle. So you don't really leave your home. You don't do anything that's unfamiliar. You've created this very reclusive lifestyle
mm,
because you're just so oversensitive and familiar. Your body, your nervous system loves familiar, and anything that's unfamiliar can be so scary because growth is feels like danger. And so you
yeah.
never up. I'm going to use the word. You never up level your life because that requires rewiring
Mm.
your nervous system, and it can be very hard and difficult to do when you're in this stuck state. So what does unwiring actually mean? When I say unwiring, what does that mean to you, Nat?
For me, I mean, coming from a more sciencey point of view, we're talking about neuroplasticity. Our brain creates these neural pathways. Now, and when we're anxious, we've got these neural pathways that are reconfirming over and over again what our nervous system doesn't feel is safe. And the more we expose ourselves to this, now this goes against exposure therapy, but that can just drive it home. So we need to, by doing different things, we need to recreate a new neural pathway.
Yeah.
So we're cutting a new pathway through the forest of our
Yes. With our little
brain
compass, we're
with
going
our
into the dark.
and our little axe, you know.
Yes. Let's go into the scary pathway. See what comes.
Yes.
Come out of your little cave, the cave of
Yeah.
say, what do I call it? My fortress of Solitude. Is that what is Superman's? Is it Fortress of mine was Fortress of Safety, not the Fortress of Solitude. I was just thinking of what trying to remember what I wrote in the book. My book, it was my
Oh, I
Fortress
can't
of
remember.
Safety.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
having to go out into the world again, it's very
Mm.
scary. You're teaching your body a new
Terrifying.
baseline of safety. So you've got your little
Mm.
thermostat set, and all of a sudden you've got to change that baseline of what safety is for you. No thanks. Your brain's saying, no thanks. I'm
Yeah,
not going
no.
to do that.
Yeah, it
So
will resist.
we always mentioned our four survival states. So we've got fight, which often can be irritability, frustration. You can see yourself getting really cranky at your kids all the time. You're fighting everything and everyone around you. You're constantly in go alert. Maybe you might be yelling at the person who is making you food at a restaurant. Like there's just you
Yeah.
know, sometimes you see those people that just are just always
They're just
angry and always fighting.
angry. Yeah.
Another survival state, because it's a protective mechanism, is
A
to
hundred
protect
percent.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flight. So this can be quite often you see people overworking because they're flying away from all that emotional stuff they've got to deal with. They're over exercising. They've got that perfectionism. Scrolling can be a flight. You're running away
Scrolling.
from your
Yeah.
problems, procrastinating.
That's a
Um,
big one these days.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's freeze. Well, freeze is often procrastination as well because you're kind of stuck in this. I don't know which way to go. I'm going to go bake some cookies instead and bake. What do they call it? Bake crastinate. Bake crastinate. I think it is.
Procrastinate.
Or
Yes.
is it procrastinate?
Oh,
Procrastinate.
procrastinate. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
let's go
it.
procrastinate. Where you shut down and you just can't move forward. And I have felt that in so many areas of my life, particularly in business, where you just don't know what you want
Mm,
to do, and so you go into freeze mode because it's too
yeah.
scary to
It's
to
too,
do
yeah.
something and up level in your business. And
Mm,
then one we talked about in quite depth a couple of episodes ago, fawn. And this is the one that a lot of people don't think of, the people pleasing one,
mm.
where you abandon yourself so you can cook and look after everyone else and not deal with the crap going inside your body. It's too scary. So let's just fawn on everyone and make ourselves feel good in that way. Yeah, they all of these blend in everyday life. So new
Yeah.
jobs, new relationships, let's setting new boundaries. That's always really difficult. Starting a new business, you're going to feel all of those things.
Yes.
Launching a book. Oh my God, the amount of times I
Yeah.
was in freeze, ugh, and procrastinate. Being seen, like that's really scary. Being seen and speaking up. Raising kids, that's always scary. Like that's going to challenge you in so many ways. And every time you do any of these things, you're up leveling your nervous system. So a lot of people don't do these things. They don't start a business. They don't
Hmm.
go for a new job. They stay in a job they hate forever because it's
Yeah.
too scary. They don't leave a relationship because it's easier to stay. They don't create boundaries because they don't want to hurt people. That they're fawning there. There-
Yeah.
There's there's so many things that people want to do and they don't do it because their nervous system's stuck and they can't up level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as you're stuck here, your digestive system is going, what? Because when you're in flight and
Ah,
fight, you're not in rest and digest and repair.
no.
So we need to unwire our body so that we can up level and go that little bit deeper in life and get rid of those old patterns, Nat. We've got old patterns.
Yes.
So what you were
Yeah.
saying with the brain, like we've got those neural pathways we need to create, but we're stuck in this constant loop going around in circles. So yeah, so how do we start this great unwiring? Like this, you mentioned a few things before, but I heard you mention the words exposure therapy. This was something that I did without even realizing I was doing it when I was a young teenager. I was stuck in my house, couldn't leave, couldn't go to school, couldn't do anything. I was so stuck, Nat, that the only way forward was to rewire. And I didn't know what that was back then. I was only a
No.
teenager. But I
Yeah.
decided I'm not dying, so let's fix this by doing the really scary things. So I actually became an actor and got up on stage. I did a little bit of modeling. I walked down a catwalk on Queen Street Mall in front of everyone. And I
Wow.
got to tell you, it was so scary that my whole body was like, what the heck? But after I
Yeah,
did
it
it a
would
few
have.
times, I didn't know what exposure therapy was, but my brain was building new pathways of safety
Yes.
and I was
Yep.
growing. So micro exposures, this is a big one, Nat. How many times have you
Huge.
done little micro exposures in your life to
Oh
constant
God, all the time.
level?
Well, I mean, I'm exactly the same as you. I was a professional model. I used to do a lot of catwalk work, TV
Mm.
commercials, all that sort of thing. I'm also a professional dancer and an actor. So yeah,
No, isn't
as
that
we've
funny? We
mentioned right at the
both done
beginning, we
that.
have we've got very similar
We should start a
backgrounds in
show.
a lot of ways. We should.
Well, we're
My
doing this
goodness.
one, right?
Yeah, well, yep, this is a good
We
one to
turn it
do.
into a live musical. The Anxiety Compass.
Yes,
Do, do,
yes.
do.
Oh my gosh. Yes, let's do that. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. So, yeah, look, exposure therapy, yes, it can absolutely work. And I was aware of it. So obviously I did all those things before my anxiety disorder became apparent. As I've said before, being on stage was no different to my everyday life. That was my normal. But when I actually had my breakdown and it became like next level. Obviously, I was, yeah, same as you, extremely agoraphobic. I couldn't leave the
Mm,
house, or when I was in hospital, I couldn't even go out the front door. So part of my therapy was to go for a walk, and this was in Canberra where I first started this. And I went back to the hospital about 6 or 7 years ago. Hadn't been there for like 20 years or something. And the car park was literally about 8 car spaces. It was a tiny car park. But at the time, I thought it was massive because I couldn't look up. But I would get my nurse to take me outside and do a couple of laps around the car park. I was like bawling my eyes out the whole time, having a panic attack. But I also
still
knew
doing
that
it.
it was going to help me. So I would go looking for my nurse every
Yeah,
day and
me
bugging her.
too.
When can you take me out? When can we go for our walk?
Let's
Um,
do it. We're doing
yeah,
this.
we're doing it. I don't care
That
if you
was
don't want
me.
to.
What's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scariest thing I
exactly.
can do? I'm doing it.
And let's do it now. Exactly. And I think that was a big part of why where we are today, though, as well, because we
Mm.
were
Resilience.
determined and we
Mhm.
had that resilience and to push through those barriers, no matter how uncomfortable we were, because we were already uncomfortable. Having
Yeah,
an anxiety disorder is already uncomfortable.
yeah.
It's just a
Let's just make it more
different
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. Yeah, for a short period of time.
Very
Yes.
short. What is it? Like, yeah, short gain, short pain for a long gain.
Long gain, yeah.
Is that how the saying goes? Tiny doses, though. I felt like when I was a teenager, I'd had enough. I was ready to quit life. So for me, it was, ride and die, ride or die. So I just was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I was raised by a single mum and she was going through all the things too, but I had no idea at the time. So I was quite often on my own. Love my mum, she's beautiful, but I was raising
She is.
myself on my own at a lot of the time. And so I was literally either sit at home, watch reruns of Friends for the rest of my
Oh,
life, because
yeah,
Friends was my safety, or go
yeah,
out into the world and just do it. And don't worry about what people think because that's the hardest part is the people staring at you and looking at you and
yeah.
judging you. And I don't care at all anymore. I got to the point where I would just
No.
be the first one on stage. I'd be the first one to dance. I'd
Yeah.
be, and these are learned behaviors. Like I didn't all of a sudden wake up and all of a sudden I was this
No.
outspoken girl,
Yes.
but tiny exposures. So, some examples for our listeners that you can do if you find that you are stuck in any of these survival states and your life is just full of sadness and your digestive health is just poor. It could definitely be because your nervous system's stuck. So, some of the things that you can do now, really, to really up level your nervous system and teach it new tricks is to drive perhaps a different way to work. I know some
Mm.
people have told me that they don't like driving, they get really nervous. They won't go to the other side of the city for fear of driving down a one way street. it's new, this is a new place, I don't like it. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you could go a different way. And I like driving different ways.
Yeah, I
And
do too.
challenge yourself in that way. And when you get there, you realize, wow, I discovered a new coffee shop. Wow, I discovered new
Yes.
places. Like just simple things like that. Or
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, I had a lot of clients that would only fall asleep with the TV, because it
Mm.
drowned out the thoughts and it was scary to be in bed without anything. It's quite scary. So that could be your thing, like taking the TV out of your room and challenging yourself to set new neural pathways that going to bed isn't scary. You can be on your own and fall asleep because it can be a safe thing. Like I mean, a lot of people don't even consider that, but we use a lot of
No,
TVs
we
to
do.
comfort ourselves. It's
Or
about
these days, their phone. People fall asleep with their phone in their hand. And they're watching something or they're listening to something. Yeah. It's just
these are
teaching
just things
yourself
that
that,
we do. We don't even know we're
no,
doing it because we have taught
no,
ourselves that this is safety for us and
it's just
anything
our
other.
normal routine.
Wow. Um, Making a phone call instead of texting someone. Do you know, apparently the younger generation that have come out now, there's a lot of anxiety about when their phone rings. I never knew this
Yeah.
was a thing. They
Yeah,
don't
it is.
like it. So I sometimes ring my son and he's like, "Why are you calling me? Just text me. Everyone's looking, the phone's ringing." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness. Like this is a thing.
Yeah.
It's unsafe to speak to someone on the phone. It challenges your social side of things." So
Yeah.
is that you? Like, do you? I know I text a lot of people, but it's more for convenience. And that's, as we were talking about before with co-regulation, that's one of my boundaries. There's some people I don't call because I know it's going to turn into chaos. Um,
Yeah.
so I send them a quick text, and
Yeah.
that's one of my boundaries. Not, I haven't opened up that space to have that conversation today.
No. But another
But that could
thing,
be one. Mm.
just on that, if calling someone is too big a step to start with sending a voice note, a voice
I love
message.
that. Some people hate
Because you
that,
and
but I
I'd
love it.
send, yeah, we do that all the
Like
time.
getting a little
We
mini
chat.
podcast.
It
I
is.
listen to it in the car.
Yes. So
Sometimes
if
I'm like, oh,
calling is,
5 minute one.
yeah,
And there's
I know,
usually
right?
my mate who's like yelling at the dogs and telling her kids to go. I'm like, what? Why are you recording this? I don't need to hear this. A big one, and I know this is going to be a challenging one. I've had a lot of women. So when my clinic was open, I had a lot of women who were in their 50s and 60s
Mm,
that would come in, even late 40s. And they were being bullied at work by younger women. Like, what is that about? Younger staff, even some older women. It was always a female. It was never the male boss
yeah,
that was bullying them. It was always a female boss. And
yeah.
their whole nervous system was just stuck and frozen. And every day, because they were too afraid to leave their job because they were at that age where they weren't sure they would get another job, but they would
Yeah.
stay in this job with this toxic environment and be so afraid
Mm,
to speak up. That could be your up leveling to actually stick up for yourself at work. And I tell you what, I know exactly how that feels. You can feel it on your shoulders, you can feel it in your gut. I don't allow
mm,
that to stay in my body for more than a day. I have to deal with it. And it is the scariest conversation. But
yes.
once you have it, it's like, it's gone.
Yes.
People carry,
Yeah.
you know what, Nat? People carry that on them for 6 months.
Yes.
Imagine what that's doing to your body because you're
Yeah.
too afraid to up level and say something.
Say
And that's
something.
just, oh, they're stuck in this no, and that bleeds into everything they do in life. The people that they love
100%.
feel that. Like it's just not good. So speaking up at work and speaking your truth,
Yes.
your
I mean, as
intuition
you
and your
know,
body needs
I do Reiki, and
it.
100% of the women that come into me for Reiki, 100%, their throat chakra is trapped,
Mm.
is blocked.
Thyroid.
It's just
Yep.
like your
Hmm.
thyroid, yeah, hormones. But, also speaking your truth. You need to start
Yeah.
speaking your truth. It's
Yeah.
scary, but as you said, it's like a huge release, a huge exhale when
Mm.
we do start creating those healthier boundaries. And you don't have to be mean or match them in their
No,
nastiness, but just a simple, clear no.
Yeah. And my husband often says, what you're putting up with that person, constantly keep saying to yourself, I'm allowing this to happen to my children, because that energy that you're
Yeah.
bringing back into the house, like if you are a parent
Yes.
or even just the people that you love, you're doing this to the people you love because you're not allowing yourself to get rid of that uncomfortable state. Your body is
Mm,
telling you things. We have, as women, we are highly intuitive, and that
mm.
uncomfortable knot in your stomach when you're around someone and this heaviness is your body telling you, this is not okay. I don't like this. And you got to
Yes.
use that voice to love yourself. That's a way to love yourself, really.
It
Um,
really is.
it is. Another example, and this one I also find is a big one for older women. I don't like to use the word older women, wiser women, women who
Wise
have
woman.
lived a fulfilling life, is going to the gym alone.
Oh
Quite,
yeah, big one. Huge.
yeah, because and even I notice this in myself sometimes. I go to the gym. I mean, I'm in my 40s now, but these young 19, 20-year-olds with their up the bum pants and all good to them. When I was young, you did
Yeah.
things, that you're in that phase of your life. But that can be quite daunting as a woman to try and do something to better yourself in life and put yourself in this uncomfortable situation. Maybe it's a situation. Maybe you're picking the wrong gym, because I've
Yeah.
switched gyms recently, and I now do yin yoga overlooking a horse paddock, and I'm around
Yeah.
the type of people that I want to blend in with. Love the people at my old gym, but it just wasn't the same. Um,
Yeah.
but actually signing up and going to a gym, regardless of what it is, or even a yoga
Mm.
session, is scary, Nat, because if you've never
Yes.
done it before, you don't know what you're
Yeah.
in for. You don't know the people in the room. What if you fall? What if you stuff up? What
Look,
if you
yeah,
fart? What if you got a
exactly.
sore gut? Because your gut's already in
Yeah.
chaos, right? If you go to the gym,
Yeah,
you do a
exactly.
fart in front of everyone or need to go to
Yeah.
the toilet.
When you're doing, yeah, or in yoga, doing a downward dog, and all of a sudden you're letting
Your
out a
guts are
foam.
out there.
Yeah.
This is a real, and I like to bring that to the surface because I don't realize that women don't realize that nearly every woman feels this uncomfortableness of doing this new
Exactly. Yeah.
sport, so to speak.
And the other thing is, one thing I really helped shift my own mind and perspective was, especially when you're anxious and you think that everyone is judging you and looking at you. And I mean, yeah, there are some people, but generally, even if you're walking down the street, most people aren't noticing or caring. They're so
No,
caught
they
up in
don't.
their own self, their own anxiety, or whatever
Yeah,
else is going on, and they honestly don't notice or care. That was
exactly.
so freeing for me when I really realized that, oh my gosh, they're
Nobody
not looking, they don't
cares.
care. And who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah. And you know what? If you are looking amazing and you've got a nice, new sort of gym outfit on and a woman's looking at you, think of it as a compliment. Oh, she likes my top.
Yes,
Oh, she likes this. Oh. Because
yes,
my mum, you've met my mum. She's just beautiful. I
yeah,
love my mummy.
she is.
She goes to the gym and she gets, without going into detail, because I, respect my mum's privacy, but she gets a lot of people looking at her. And my mum was saying to me, no, 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 this isn't in my head, Sam. And the woman who runs the gym pulled her aside and said, you are such an inspiration to a lot of the women
Oh,
here, because,
yeah.
you really look after yourself. Like, she's given up alcohol and she's just really about getting healthy again so she can keep up with my lifestyle. And the kids. She's got four teenage grandsons. So I said to her, see, you thought the worst. These women were looking at you in a positive light. They're looking at you for
Yes,
inspiration. So don't always think of it
yes,
as a negative thing either,
yeah,
if you
a
genuinely
hundred
think people are looking.
percent.
Now, I created sort of like a framework, which I did a talk on a while ago. I like to call it the listen method, and each step helps your body to unwire. I don't think I've shared this with you, Nat. So
No.
the listen method, it has every letter, listen. Listen in. The first thing I do is I locate. I noticed where I am and what the compass is pointing at. So if it's what's causing this discomfort that I don't want to up level from. So I locate that, whether it's, someone at work, or maybe, I've got to up level in my business and have a difficult conversation with someone. And then I interrupt So interrupt is the next one. I interrupt this loop because you become aware of it, you pause, and you notice the habitual pattern that you've created. Like maybe you don't up level in your business and you quickly jump into fawning because you feel bad because you've got to do something that might upset them. So you go back to fawning mode and you're like, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's fine. And you never go up in your business because you're too afraid to have that conversation or whatever it is that might be. So interrupt that. And then once you interrupt it and do it, you are going to feel this incredible, anxious, awful feeling because that comes with it, right? I have
Yeah.
gotten jobs where I'm on stage. I'm fine with it now, but in the past, up leveling my business, I wouldn't sleep for a week because I would think of
Mm.
everything that could possibly go wrong, and I'd be this close to canceling. I'd have
Yep.
insomnia. My whole body would be in ah. But as soon as you do those things, you realize you can do them and you create new pathways. But when you're doing it, you want to shake out that energy. So we've got locate it, interrupt the loop, and then shake that
Shake,
energy out. So
shake it
whatever that
out.
means for you, shake it out. We've talked about this before.
We
Um,
have.
yeah, and then the fourth one is the T, so talking to your body. So I like to give myself self-talk scripts to constantly say, you're safe. This is important for growth. You are not in danger. This is a normal process. You've been here before. We've created a new pathway. I'm up leveling in whatever I'm doing again. So
Hmm.
talking to your body. The next one, the fifth one, is to edit. So the E is to edit the inputs, reducing things that are gonna, allow your body to be more stressed. So I definitely stay away from stimulants when I'm doing an up leveling in my life. So screens, chaotic people, like what we were talking about before, and throwing in that nourishment. So making sure I'm really slowing down, hydrating, grounding in my everyday life so that I can deal with this new up leveling that I'm working on. And the last one is the N, which is name it before you numb it, rather than going straight to alcohol or straight to scrolling or something where you numb this feeling because it's a really awful feeling. Is to name it because as soon as you name it, this intensity it drops in your body, and you go, ah, yes. So, for example, when you're feeling like, oh, it's just an awful feeling in your body, you say, yes, this is just my body doing a nervous system upgrade. I'm going to use my jazz hands to get through this, or just really naming it and owning that this is what it is. It's just an up leveling, it's just new neurons firing in my brain. It's normal. But this is what I have to go through to get to the other end. And I find when I go through this, whenever I up level, particularly in business at the moment, Nat, it's been full on. Um,
Yeah, it
it's
has.
working for me. So I wanted to share that sort of method that I've been doing on
Yeah, I
my
love it.
yeah, so the
Yeah.
listen. So I'll just name them again if you were listening. We've got locate it. So notice where this up leveling needs to happen in your life. Interrupt the loop. So you're aware of it. Pause and notice what pattern you want to go into, where you want to quit and not do it, which is often the one that we're going towards. Shake out that energy and the uncomfortableness because you're going to be up leveling and this is scary. We all know it, but get that energy out. Talk to your body, give it the safety script of you're safe, you're not in danger, you're not in danger. Edit the inputs, so reduce the things that are going in that are going to overstimulate and add in the things that are going to really nourish you there, and naming it before you numb it. So really, telling yourself that this is just an up level. The neurons in my brain are going to refire and create new pathways. I'm going to feel better after this, and really owning that. New habits are extremely uncomfortable because your body is losing its old identity. You have been, for example, for me, I was the anxious overachiever for many, many years, that when I finally had to do the biggest upgrade in my nervous system, I had to stop and rest, and it felt like danger to me, Nat. Like slowing
Mm.
down felt like I was failing life and that I would die. And isn't that
Mm.
ridiculous? That's to the point that I created so many ridiculous pathways in my brain that to stop was really scary. So
Yeah.
lean into the discomfort, people. Do it without overwhelming the system. You don't want it to backfire.
No,
So
no.
do it slowly. Don't do
Baby
what I did.
steps.
jump, I haven't jumped out of a plane yet, but watch that space. Who
No,
knows?
neither have I. No, I bet we should do that together.
We'll do a podcast of us jumping out of the plane. Or even thinking about it is making my tummy
I
do
know,
circles.
literally.
Oh, I actually had someone once say to me, I've never done any of these things because I don't like the feeling in my body. It's not a nice feeling. I'm like, that's a normal feeling. Like they literally didn't know that it was
Oh,
normal
wow.
to feel that in their body. So they just
Yeah,
kept avoiding it because it
nervous.
was uncomfortable.
Um,
So
yeah,
they haven't done anything in their life for that simple reason. The things that are going to get in your way, though, expecting quick results, it doesn't happen overnight. You might have to do the scary thing about 4 or 5 times.
yeah,
And it's going to feel really awful for 4 or 5 times, even 50 times. Like,
yeah,
that's a
sometimes.
lot.
Yeah.
Thinking that you should be over it by now, I have done up leveling in my life where it's consumed me for a month and it's been awful.
Mm,
And that horrible feeling. But once you get past it, it's like you've cleared that air and you're good to go. But
yeah,
it can be awful. These things get in the way. We give up, right? Because of these things. These are normal things.
yeah,
Trying to force change. Sometimes we can force it too much, and your body needs to feel
mm,
safe while you're doing it. I know
yeah,
when I did NLP training, it was too much for my body
mm,
in the room that I was in, and my body
yeah,
needed some safety along the way. And I didn't have that regulation along the way. It was just all trauma, 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 and it was too much. So that's definitely another one. So make sure you're fueling and nourishing your body along the way because it's important. And definitely don't compare your journey to someone else's. Like that's another thing that gets in the
Oh,
way.
comparisonitis. Yes.
Once you're unwired, these are the feelings and sensations in your body. It's such a great thing. You're going to find that you're going to have more space when something triggers you and you react. You're not going to react straight away. You're going to create this space. So if someone says, "Hey, I need you to get up on stage and talk in front of 150 people," you're going to have this little space here rather than freaking out straight away. You're going to go, "Okay, I've done this before. I still feel a bit, ooh, but I've
Yeah,
done this
and that's
before."
normal. You
Yeah,
normalize the nervous
yeah,
feelings. That's ner
yeah.
You know what?
Ex-
I was once told early on in my theatre career that if you don't feel nervous before you step out in front of people, please don't, because it means that you
yeah,
actually don't care anymore.
yeah, you need to care. You
You need
need
to
to care.
care.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I care. I always feel a bit in my tummy, but not to the extent that I used to.
No.
Your digestion's going to improve. Your emotional capacity is going to improve. You're going to not catastrophize every little thing. I mean, you might still catastrophize some things because I still do, but there'll be less of that. You're
Yes.
going to be less of a perfectionist. You're going to be able to rest without feeling guilty. Oh my gosh, that is a
Mm,
huge one for me. I can rest while my kids are out there unstacking the dishwasher and my hubby's doing stuff. And I'm like, I'm just going to go lie down. I used to hide to go and lie down. Isn't that ridiculous?
yeah. Sad. Yeah.
You can feel safe in stillness. Like you can go to bed without a TV in the background. Like you feel safe when it's quiet. Like that's a big one for many people. And you
Yeah.
actually enjoy life instead of just surviving and enduring it. Like you will enjoy every moment you wake up and listening to the birds and being present. This is just from rewiring your nervous system, people.
Yes. Also,
Yep.
just don't have expectations. Don't place
Oh,
expectations on
yes.
yourself
Mm.
or on the situation. Just allow it to be what it is. Take the
Mm.
steps, do what you need to do, but let go of the expectation because then you're not going to be disappointed or be hard on yourself.
Oh,
It's a
yes.
journey, and
That's
all
a big one.
journeys, yeah, are not linear.
That's definitely one I need to hear because I am always hard on myself, Nat. It's just that's another one I need to rewire in my body. The
Look, I think
constant,
most people that have anxiety, I mean, I'm generalizing, but I think most people with anxiety are hard on themselves.
yeah, we expect
That's that
deep really
personality
into
type.
everything,
Yeah,
including
absolutely.
changing our neural pathways. I got this. I can do this. It's fine. And then you're at night
Do it,
in,
do it, do it.
this is awful. Oh gosh. All right, so we'll throw out a reflect. I have enjoyed this episode. This has been
Oh,
fun. I
right.
think
Yeah.
Again, we are not psychologists. We are both NLP practitioners, so we've done neuro linguistic processing with our clients. But if you want to go and seek someone to go down some really deep, dark tunnels, highly recommend seeing a therapist because rewiring can be a really difficult thing, especially when there's deep-seated trauma
Oh,
from
yeah.
something from your childhood. So be
Yes.
very careful along the way, just the tiny little
Yeah.
things. And these are all generalized as well. Everybody's different. So, a
Yeah.
reflective question. Where in your life are you trying to grow? Is it work? Is it your
Hmm.
relationship? Is it making boundaries? Like, where are you trying to grow? But your nervous system still believes that that growth in that space is unsafe. And what is one tiny exposure step that you could take this week to show your body that this new level, this new area of growth is actually safe? Could you journal on this? I like journaling. All right. Well, we will see
All right.
you guys later. Have a fabulous day. Thanks for joining us on the Anxiety Compass. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend who needs a little laugh and a lot of calm. We'll see you in the next one. Keep following your true north. Disclaimer time. Sammy and Natalie may be clinical nutritionists, but we're not your personal doctors. What you hear is for learning and laughing, not diagnosing or prescribing. If things feel bigger than you, call your doctor or local support line or reach out to a qualified health professional. They've got your back too.